Fitnesize.
DC.
How you doing, everyone? It's Mitchell Toby coming at you from Mighty Fit Studio in East Finchley. Basically, people have been asking me how I've got my abs defined and separated the way they are in the pictures. So today we're going to go through basically a montage of exercises that targets each individual area of those abdominals, and hopefully it'll be one for the masses. So whether you want to improve some of the superficial muscle groups like the rectus abdominals and the internal external obliques, or maybe you want to improve some of the deep tissue muscles like the transverse abdominals and the pelvic floor and the TVA. There's something for everyone in this video, so I really hope you enjoy it. The first part of the circuit is literally 3 different exercises for the lower band. You go from one exercise to the next and then repeat that circuit 3 times with the rep range from 15 reps per exercise. The first one is hanging leg raises. The idea is to keep the legs as straight as possible and to try and get your toes to touch the bar in between your hands. The next exercise is the reverse cable crunches. With the stress being taken from the cables, you attach those onto your feet, bringing the knees in towards the chest, and as you tilt the pelvis anteriorly towards you, that's going to engage where the pubic symphysis and the origin of that abdominal wall is, and therefore give you that kind of ripped look from the lower abdominal wall that we all strive for, but it's really hard to get, obviously. And then finally, one I like to call the Rocky leg raises. If anyone's seen Rocky 4, he fights a big Russian, he's in the barn and he's doing these crazy leg raises, whereas you'll see when you see the video, it all makes sense. Circuit 2 is upper abdominal wall. You've got the BOSU and the rope crunch. Okay, so the idea is to use the BOSU to your advantage. The natural curve of that ball will sit in the natural curve of your lumbar spine. So the idea is to get where your tailbone is on the lower portion of that ball. Once you've got that, you'll have the rope overhead, and that will sit nicely just over the shoulders. It doesn't move from this position. It's just to add that extra stress. Because as we talked about in the principle of the 4 R's with the resistance, if we've got extra resistance coming from the cables, it's going to cause more microfibril damage, what we call it. And that microfibril damage is what causes the volume of the abdominals to get thicker and stronger. And again, the rep range is the same, 15 repetitions. We've got decline crunches. On the decline bench, we're going to use it at an angle. So the more angle you've got, the bigger the fulcrum is. So then the more stress there is on the abdominal wall. With your feet locked in, the idea is to bring the ribs again towards the hips this time. Because you're trying to focus on the upper band, you really want to make that angle more acute by curving the spine. It's trunk flexion, and that's what's going to get the most out of your abdominal wall. So we're going to use the TRX ropes in the seated position, heels in the TRX ropes, and we're going to do TRX crunches. So the idea is, as you sit up, you're trying to touch your heels and bring your knees in at the same time. Circuit 3, which is more for the obliques. The principle is elevation of the legs, get tension in the rectus abdominals, and then rotate through the trunk. Make sure that the arms don't move down to the side. You see a lot of people that will just sit there and then move their arms from side to side. The idea and the biomechanics of the obliques is rotation of the spine. So it's really important that your arms are just a lever in that. So you're moving the weight and the lever together in order to activate the internal external obliques. Okay? And then if we look again at the biomechanics, as well as rotation, we've got lateral flexion. So you'll need 2 kettlebells for this. One will be at your side, the other one will be above your head, and then you're going to move down to your side. And once this has happened, you'll get that lateral flexion and the obliques will engage. Sit there. Oh.